Well, good afternoon and welcome to Citizen Live at 1. I'm Julie Yeshuruna in the news. This afternoon we tell you about the latest on the security situation in Lamu and in Wajir as well. We tell you about 6 suspected poachers who've been gunned down in Timau. The High Court has issued a warrant of arrest against lawyer Kathy Kilonzo, and MIRAA farmers begin to count their losses. All that is on the way. And after Citizen Live at 1, we have Viva Brazil. I'll be co-hosting with Michael Kinyi. My Ghana shirt is standing by. All that's on the way. But first, let's get to the news. Now, 5 people have been killed in fresh attacks in Kakade village, Lamu County, after raiders descended on the unsuspecting villagers. The raiders are said to have struck at around 11:30 p.m. in the small village that's about 5 kilometers from Witu town. The attack comes barely a week after militants attacked the larger Mpeketoni area, killing over 65 men.
Just days after the deadly attacks in Mpeketoni, armed raiders have unleashed terror and mayhem on villagers in Witu. According to the Kilifi County Kenya Red Cross Society branch manager Hassan Musa, who is at the scene of the attack, the raiders targeted men only.
It was around tonight, around 11:30 p.m. When raiders invaded a village called Kakefe, about 10 kilometers from Witu. They killed 5 men with gunshots, and then 2 were butchered. Out of 5, 2 were butchered. And they took food items and few utensils, and then disappeared in a thick forest adjacent to Kakefe village.
Hassan also confirmed that there was 1 casualty from the attack.
During this attack, 1 person was injured, and we took him in bad condition, and he was taken to Lamu District Hospital for further treatment.
The attack, which is said to have occurred in the village that is heavily forested, comes hot on the heels of a deadly attack in Mpeketoni, Kibaoni and Maporomoko areas barely a week ago that resulted in the deaths of close to 65 people, all with the exception of 1 being men. The Lamu County Commissioner Steve Ikua and other senior government officials in the area have flown to the scene of the attack. The latest attack puts the country's security organs under the spotlight. Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku and Inspector General of Police David Kimaiyo have in recent weeks found themselves on the receiving end of criticism over their handling of security matters.
Kwamba ni hatua gani tumechukua pile tumefika hapa. Ndiposa hata waziri ameongeza kwamba hatutaondoka hapa mpaka kesho turudi tupate hiyo mkakati.
The two last week camped in Lamu County for close to 3 days to assess the security situation in Mpeketoni following the deadly attack and sought opinions from the residents on how to curb rising insecurity in the region. Alex Kubasu for Citizen Live at 1.
And still on matters of security, top security officials met in Wajir just a day after 20 people were killed in inter-ethnic clashes triggered by an alleged boundary dispute. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Grace Kaindi, and her administration police counterpart, Samuel Arachi, toured the area to meet local leaders after armed raiders killed over 20 people in a raid in a village near the Wajir-Mandera boundary. It's reported that the raiders struck Gunana village, killing several residents just weeks after another attack on the same village. Meanwhile, several leaders are this afternoon expected to record statements with the police over Sunday's killings following the Inspector General of Police David Kimayo's orders. Kimayo said that the chaos was politically instigated, and he's directed leaders from the 2 counties, including senators, governors, MPs and members of county assemblies, to be grilled over the recent deadly clashes. Hundreds of villagers in the Tarbaj sub-county have been displaced by the latest attack. Now, High Court Judge Justice Hannah Ndungu has issued a warrant of arrest against lawyer Kathy Kilonzo for failing to attend a hearing proceeding in a case in which she was charged with fraud. The prosecution has argued that yesterday's orders by High Court Judge Justice Msaga Mbogoli did not exempt her from attending today's proceedings. Now, yesterday, Justice Mbogoli suspended the trial that was set to commence today. Kathy has been accused of stealing a voter's registration slip. The case will be mentioned on the 8th of July this year, pending determination of an application she filed on Tuesday last week, opposing the conduct of the proceedings as being oppressive. Now, Ford People's Zebedeo Opore clinched the Bonchari parliamentary seat after trouncing 6 candidates in yesterday's by-election. Opore garnered 10,947 votes, with ODM's Oro Oyonka coming in second with 6,977 votes, while Wiper's flag bearer Charles Onyancha managed to secure 5,171 votes. But as Francis Gashuri reports, court clearly played into the Jubilee coalition's hands by fielding 2 candidates who split the opposition's votes.
Declare Zebedeo John Opore as the validly elected member of National Assembly.
Ford People's Zebedeo Opore has recaptured the Bonchari parliamentary seat after flooring his rivals in yesterday's by-election. Opore, whose election in last year's general election was nullified by the High Court and victory handed to his rival Oro Oyoka, reclaimed the seat after polling 10,947 votes. Oyoka, who vied on an ODM ticket, finished second with 6,977 votes, while Charles Onyancha, who represented the constituency in the 10th Parliament, was third with 5,171 votes. Jubilant Ford People supporters poured into the streets to celebrate Opore's victory late into the night and early morning, as soon as he was declared the winner by returning officer Peter Ressa. Opore had beaten Oyoka by 5 votes in last year's general election, but lost the seat in dramatic fashion after the High Court nullified his election, declared Oyoka the victor, and directed the electoral body IEBC to issue him with a certificate as the validly elected legislator. The Court of Appeal, however, quashed the High Court's decision and ordered yesterday's repeat poll.
The court battles were, I think, irrelevant, but at the end of the day, the Wananchi have shown that the true winner of the last year's elections was myself.
4 candidates in the by-election scored less than 1,000 votes each. They are David Ogega of the Democratic Party of Kenya, Kenya National Congress's Paul Matagaro, Geoffrey Mwendo of the Kenya Social Congress, and Charles Ndege of the National Labour Party.
And mine normally is to embrace development. Zebedeo Opore is an economist by background.
This is a clear manifestation that his leadership is accepted by Boncharians, and we must now embrace his leadership style.
The opposition coalition CORD had fielded 2 candidates in the Bonchari by-election, a situation that could have cost it victory in the poll. Oyoka got 6,977 votes on an ODM ticket, while Onyancha, who was flying the Wiper flag, managed to get 5,971 votes. The 2 CORD candidates getting 12,148 votes against Opore's 10,947 votes. CORD leader Raila Odinga had on Thursday and Friday crisscrossed the constituency campaigning for Oyoka, while Opore, backed by some Jubilee coalition lawmakers, opted for door-to-door campaigns ahead of yesterday's by-election. Opore is likely to be sworn in tomorrow as the Bonchari Member of Parliament. Francis Gashuri, Citizen Live, at 1.
Now, MIRAA farmers are staring at a bleak future as the MIRAA ban by the UK government came into force today. This despite the appeals by the government and several stakeholders to have the ban extended by at least 1 year.
Despite a spirited attempt by leaders from across the political divide, including a petition by CORD leader Raila Odinga to the British government to review the ban on MIRAA, it is now evident the appeal bore no fruit as the UK authorities effected the ban, a move that is expected to render hundreds jobless and result into huge losses for hundreds of farmers and traders. According to the British government, MIRAA, sometimes referred to as CAT, contains natural ingredients, already controlled drugs in the UK and internationally. Under the ban, it is illegal to produce, possess, supply and import or export cat without a home office license. The government of United Kingdom, under its new law, also outlawed sale and consumption of MIRAA, and those found in possession of the substance risk a jail term of up to 14 years. It is estimated that MIRAA traders will lose up to 1.4 billion shillings per month. The country used to export 14 tons of MIRAA per day to the UK. Fiona Kenga, Citizen at 1.
Now, the 5-day secondary school head teachers conference entered its second day today. Over 5,000 heads of schools are participating in the ongoing conference and are expected to deliberate on the education sector and its funding. The school heads were yesterday asked to come up with measures to reduce the cost of education. Secondary and Tertiary Education Director Robert Masese asked the principals to start income-generating projects in their schools to bridge financial gaps occasioned by either delays in releasing funds by the government or cases of underfunding. Now, moving from that to politics, and Kajiado Central Member of Parliament Joseph Nkaissery has warned leaders from the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy against conducting any rallies in Kajiado and Narok counties as part of their ongoing countrywide series of rallies ahead of Saba Saba Day. Nkaissery says he is opposed to the style of politics adopted by CORD's leadership and urged the coalition, which sponsored him to Parliament, to accept that it lost the March 2013 polls and move on. Hassan Farah reports.
CORD leaders led by Raila Odinga have maintained that they will continue with their countrywide series of rallies to press for national dialogue. But an MP elected on an Orange Democratic Movement ticket has opposed the planned rallies. Kajiado Central MP Joseph Nkaissery has cautioned CORD leaders against holding rallies in Kajiado and Narok counties. Speaking at the ACK Church in Kajiado town, where the Kenya Women Parliamentary Association was training local women on anti-FGM strategies, Nkaissery said that several leaders in the coalition were not consulted over the rallies.
Mimi ni mtu wa CORD. Hatujawahi kwenda mkutano kusikizana kwamba hii ndio itakuwa agenda ya kueleza wananchi wa Kenya. Hii ni mpango ya mtu mmoja ama watu wachache. Mimi ni sina member. Mimi ni sina member ya CORD. Hakuna siku tumekaa kama CORD kusema agenda ya dialogue ya mazungumzo ni hiki ama ni vipi.
The legislator says it is time that the CORD leaders accepted that the coalition lost in the last general election.
Tulienda election tarehe 4, tulishindwa kama CORD. We must accept and move on.
Nkaissery, however, says CORD's claim that it wants to help the Jubilee Alliance correct its mistakes was baffling.
Kwa nini tunataka kusaidia serikali? Si tuache serikali ianguke. Why do we want to dialogue? Kusaidia hii serikali. We are in the opposition. We allow the government to fail. And then we will tell wananchi hii serikali imeanguka.
Hassan Farah, Citizen Live at 1.
Well, and with that, we take a break. Citizen Live at 1 will be back in just a short while. Stay with us.